Now let's look at the post-war settlements. That is, how did the world or did the countries settle with each other after the major world wars? The lessons which were learnt were that the mass production cannot be successful unless there is mass consumption, and the mass consumption cannot be done unless there is mass employment, and mass employment cannot be generated just by the market alone. The government has to intervene, the government has to make efforts to give employment to the masses. These were the lessons which were learnt by the countries of the world during this time. It was at New Hampshire in USA that the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference was held in 1944, and they decided upon, and the conference was called as Bretton Woods Conference, that as most of the countries of the world had not got benefited from the fast moving economies of the world, the developing nations formed a group which was called as G77, and they demanded that now the countries which were developing had to be paid more attention. And they relied on two things, and that was the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, which means that now the attention was from the developed countries towards the developing countries. We see that in 1950, Europe and Japan had recovered. Therefore, the other countries of the world needed attention, which was being given by the Bretton Woods Conference that decided to help such nations. But the other effect of the post-war settlement was that we also see that there started a process of decolonization. That is, countries of Asia and Africa started becoming independent of the foreign yoke, which was definitely a good sign. The awareness that was created amongst the people, the strengthening of the economy of the weaker nations, and the weakening of the stronger nations' economies led to this positive change, that is decolonization, when they were either forced by the natives of that country or were forced to leave that country due to their internal weaknesses. But definitely this was a positive step forward towards an independent and good world. And I continue in the next clipping.